what we do know about this story, right? I'm pretty sure you've seen this picture plenty of times. So this is who is this again? She's a representative. She is Angie Craig. Rep Angie Craig. Let's see what Angie Craig has to say.
So now ICE is using a 5-year-old boy. A 5-year-old boy.
Oh my
They took
God.
him and used him to lure his father out. And now they've detained them both. The family doesn't know where they are. This is the worst of the damn worst. This is not humanity in Minnesota, folks. If you can look at this 5-year-old and actually with a straight face still support and be silent in the face of what the Trump administration and Kristi Noem is doing,
Uh-huh.
I just can't even believe this is America. I
Okay.
will not vote for a damn penny to Kristi Noem or ICE in this Congress. This is a time where we should all be outraged. If this doesn't pierce through your humanity, as a Republican member of Congress, you can't speak out about this.
Okay.
You've got no humanity left.
Right. She's Congresswoman Angie Craig of the 2nd District of Minnesota. I think we can agree with her. You have no humanity if you can't stand against a police force who dare capture a child, right? It feels like we are normalizing chaos. Well, yeah, you gotta understand. News outlets and really social media thrives on engagement. And what gets the most engagement? Negative things get the most engagement. So normalizing chaos might be a little bit of a stretch, but we definitely are at a point in time where because negativity sells and bad news sells, that's what we're being fed. So I guess you can say that normalizing chaos is kind of where we're at, even though I wouldn't go that far. But regardless, back to my point about Angie, right? You would think this is horrible. What she is talking about is so god awful. Let's look at the comments. No, Angie, they didn't. What actually happened, ICE rolled up to arrest Adrian Alexander Conejo Arias, a wanted illegal alien with a rap sheet that apparently includes social security fraud and whatever else earned him a deportation target. Right as he pulled into the driveway after picking up his 5-year-old son from preschool. Daddy Dearest, being the stand-up guy he is, decided his best move was to bolt like a gutless rat, abandoning his own fucking kid in Minnesota January cold. Okay, let's see. Correction. ICE rescued a 5-year-old boy abandoned by his fugitive father. Are you actually this stupid or are you just a blatant liar? Oof. More lies from the left. Here's U.S. Immigration and Customs. So this is a tweet from them. It says, "This is an abject lie. The child was abandoned by his father, a criminal illegal alien from Ecuador who fled from our officers. Our officers ensured the child was safe. Does your heart also ache for the thousands of families who've lost loved ones to violent crimes, illegal aliens?" Am I reading this wrong? To families who have lost loved ones to violent, criminal, illegal aliens. Murderers? Should there not be a comma there? Who's the grammar police? Anyways, you haven't tweeted about those angel families once. The point there. Father abandons small child in freezing cold weather. ICE saves child, protects the child, and makes sure nothing bad happens to the small child. Democrats then turn the heroic effort into propaganda. Beyond pathetic, do better. This is a lie. This is JD Vance talking about it. Now, we're gonna watch that full video in a little bit, so I don't wanna preemptively jump that. Let's see. ICE stayed with the kid after his illegal alien dad abandoned him. So seems like we have two narratives here. Either ICE detained a 5-year-old boy, or the dad abandoned him and we're now where we are. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Everything I've read stands with the dad took off. You know what? Let me check out the BBC report, see what it says. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers detained a 5-year-old boy. See how they use detained. Come on, guys. They wouldn't detain. On Tuesday during an immigration enforcement operation, Minnesota school officials and the family lawyer have said preschooler Liam Ramos was with his father, named by the Department of Homeland Security as Adrian Alejandro Conejo Arias. When Conejo Arias was approached by agents on his driveway, in a statement posted on X, the DHS said ICE did not target a child. Is it just me or did they just skip? Like, they just cut out a whole paragraph. Was approached by agents on his driveway. In a statement posted on X, the DHS said ICE did not target a child, but was conducting an operation against his father, an illegal alien who abandoned his son when approached. Zena Stenvik, the Columbia Heights Public School Superintendent, asked, "Why detain a 5-year-old?" You can't tell me that the child is going to be classified as a violent criminal. In a post on X, ICE denied the child had been detained. A criminal illegal alien abandoned his child as he fled from ICE officers, and our officers ensured the child was kept safe in the bitter cold, the agency said. ICE made multiple attempts to get the family inside the house to take custody of the child. They refused to accept custody of the child. The father told officers he wanted the child to remain with him. DHS did not immediately respond to the BBC request for comment. Photos provided to the BBC by the school district show a boy identified as Liam Ramos wearing a bunny-shaped winter hat standing outside as an officer holds on to his backpack. The narrative is they detained the child. Why isn't the truth the narrative? If you're drinking and driving and you decide and you have your kid in the back seat and the cops pull you over, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna take your kid. They're gonna call DCYF. The kid's gonna be in the police custody until either somebody who is a guardian can take him or he goes to DCYF. Let's just do the story a little bit of justice. I'm gonna go back. Let's check out the CNN article because maybe I'm wrong. Okay, maybe I read this wrong. Maybe I don't know how to read right. Maybe they made a mistake and somebody actually puts the correct interpretation behind this whole situation. 5-year-old boy taken by ICE in Minneapolis area being held with father at Texas facility. Okay, taken by ICE. Oh, they didn't blur his face out here, huh? I guess the BBC doesn't want to be sued for this too, huh? All right, let's see. 5-year-old who was taken. Poor child. Was taken by federal agents from the driveway of his Metro Minneapolis home Tuesday after returning from preschool. Is being held with his father at an immigration customs enforcement facility in Texas, according to school district officials and a family attorney. I don't want to read too much about this. The boy and his family are originally from Ecuador, presented themselves in the border, Texas, in December 2024 to apply for asylum. The family's lawyer, Mark, I don't even know. I'm not even gonna try that last name. But Mark said during a press conference Thursday evening, these are not illegal aliens. They came properly, they came legally, and are pursuing a legal pathway. Interesting. So if you're pursuing a legal pathway, does that make you automatically legally, or does that still make you technically undocumented and waiting on the process to finish in order to get your papers? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Who knows? Who cares about specifics? Just let them in, right? That's how people feel. Let's see. When asked further about their asylum requests, noting that asylum plans are confidential. Oh, of course. Now they're confidential, right? Okay. All right, let's see. Manager campaign, Minnesota, across the country. I just want to see if they say anything about the father running. As responded by warning neighbors and times he said hinder immigration. His home was outside and begged the agents to let them take. Oh, whoa, okay. All right. I don't know. Let's read this. It says another adult living in the home was outside and begged the agents to let them take care of the small child, but was refused. Stenvik said at a news conference on Wednesday. An agent led him to the door and directed him to knock on the door, asking to be let in order to see if anyone was home. Okay, so was there anybody home? Essentially using a 5-year-old as bait, Stenvik said. So essentially is not, see, essentially and basically are two very curious words. They're not, they're eluding words. They're the kind of words you use when you want someone to interpret your actions as a fact. I don't like those two words, but let's keep going. Let's see if they say ICE did not and has never used the child as bait. The child was abandoned. The agency posted on X on Thursday. Father was and then target. We know this. The two were eventually taken into custody together. We conduct legal, ethical, and moral law enforcement missions here in Minneapolis. Border Patrol Commander at Large Gregory Bavino said Thursday at a news conference, I didn't detain a 5-year-old and we're going to continue with the law enforcement mission. The boy's father did not appear to have a criminal record in Minnesota, according to his lawyer, which I still don't know how to pronounce that last name. The father, Adrian Alexander Conejo Areas, and his young son are being held. But why you not see, this is what I don't like. I don't like this part. They just said officers made multiple attempts to get the mother and oh, look at this. Federal officials said they took the boy with them after the father told the officers he wanted the child to remain with him, according to the social media post from DHS on Thursday. The agency said the officers made multiple attempts to get the mother inside to take custody of her child. Officers even assured her they would not take her into custody. She refused to accept custody of the child.
And now to the latest in the federal government's intensifying immigration crackdown. A Minnesota school district says several of their students have been detained by ICE agents, including a 5-year-old preschooler. Gordon Severson at our sister station in Minneapolis has the story.
Inside Valley View Elementary in Columbia Heights, there's a preschool classroom filled with 4- and 5-year-olds who may soon wonder what happened to one of their classmates, Liam Ramos.
He's a bright young student, and he's so kind.
Ella Sullivan is Liam's preschool teacher. She says her students haven't asked about Liam yet, but they will, and she and other teachers wonder how they can possibly answer their questions.
All I want is
the truth? Wouldn't that be the best way to answer the questions?
for him to be safe and back here.
The family's lawyer says Liam is likely being held with his father at a detention facility in Texas.
We have clients that once they're picked up, they're whisked away to the airport literally within hours.
School officials say Liam is one of 4 students who have been detained by ICE agents over the last 2 weeks, including another student who was also detained on Tuesday.
On the way to school, a 17-year-old high school student, a minor, was taken by armed, masked agents. Alone. No parents were present.
Superintendent Zena Stenvik said,
"Oh, that's the superintendent, Stenvik. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Was it? I knew it. I don't believe that other case. We could talk about the other one too. We're going to talk about it.
As the other 2 students include another 17-year-old and her mother, who were detained by ICE last week.
See, this is what I'm saying, yo. This is what irks me so much. Let's go back so you can hear her say it.
Alone. No parents were present.
No
Superintendent
parents
Zena Stenvik says the other 2 students include another 17-year-old and her mother, who were detained by ICE last week, and a 10-year-old girl who was also detained with her mother on their way to school 2 weeks ago.
Oh, look at that. They were all with parents. So what are you talking about, young lady? Please elaborate. Feel free. I'll give you time to elaborate.
And by the end of the school day, they were already in a detention center in Texas, and they are still there.
He's terrified.
Pastor Sergio Amezcua is also working with Liam's family. He says many in the Latino community are deeply concerned about children being taken by federal agents.
Let Child Protection Services take care of them while the parents battle the legal battle.
Amezcua says many in the community are now afraid to leave their homes. His church has now received food delivery requests from more than 27,000 families who are scared to go to the grocery store.
ICE agents have been roaming our neighborhoods, circling our schools, following our buses, coming into our parking lots and taking our children. And our hearts are shattered.
Oh, taking our children. Oh, cry me a river. They're taking their parents. What do you expect to happen if the kid is a minor? Leave the kid behind? Then you cause a real problem. You might want to have outrage, but to lie about the outrage, come on. Don't do this. Come on. This is below the belt. This is way below the belt.
Thank you all for being here to get the real facts of what ICE federal partners are doing in the Twin Cities. For us, every day is about public safety, not politics.
Okay.
It's a shame to see politicians and activists spreading fear in their own communities by creating a false narrative about what we do and who we are.
Ooh, calling them out right away.
The media and political activists have tried to deceive the American public about ICE and our operations.
They tried and succeeded so far.
Yet again, they have failed. But the truth matters, and I'm here to tell you the truth about what we do.
I'm going to keep playing, but hold on a second. I'll be right back.
This week, ICRO conducted targeted enforcement operation to arrest Adrian Alexander Conejo Arias, an illegal alien who was released back into the interior of the United States by the previous administration.
We're just talking about him.
When officers approached Conejo Arias, he and his child were in a vehicle. Arias fled from law enforcement on foot, abandoning his child in the middle of winter in a vehicle. One of our officers stayed behind with that child while other officers apprehended his father. After conducting the arrest, my officers stayed with the child. They cared for him, took him to get something to eat from a drive-through restaurant, and spent hours ensuring he was taken care of.
They got the boy a Happy Meal? Okay.
Again, my officers did that, not his father.
Damn.
My officers did everything they could to reunite him with his family. Tragically, when we approached the door of his residence, the people inside refused to take him in and open the door.
Wow. Horrible people.
Let me say it again. They saw the young boy, and they refused to open the door and take him back. This is the human side of the job that my officers do. They are family men and women. They have children of their own. They sacrifice everything for their families. I know for a fact that they were heartbroken to see the child's own family leave him behind.
Right.
Fortunately, Conejo Arias eventually requested that his child stay with him. We do everything in our power not to separate families. So they took him back together to Minneapolis, here to the city, to the ICE facility for processing, and now they are being well cared for at a family residential center, pending their immigration proceedings. This is the real face of ICE, ERO, Border Patrol, and our allied partners. The media doesn't know our officers, we do. My officers do the right thing no matter how difficult or how long it takes throughout the day. Let me debunk a couple more lies.
Okay, go ahead. We're listening.
Conejo Arias was not walking to school with his child, and we did not target the child.
Okay.
Arias fled from law enforcement officers and left his child behind. Again, middle of winter, in a car.
Oh, he left him in the car?
We will enforce the law as it's written, but we will go above and beyond to reunite families because that is who we are.
You know, I also think that they should hold these news agencies accountable as well, because as you can see from the articles we just recently read, you see that they are sensationalizing these things that are happening by saying they detained a 5-year-old. They didn't detain the 5-year-old. They detained a man who was with a 5-year-old and who happened to run off and leave the kid in the car. So at what point do we sit here, right? Do you, and this is a serious question, right? But at what point do you sit here and read the article and then listen to what the commanding officers of ICE are saying? You know, I'm assuming he's probably second in command, but Vino's number one in ICE. I don't know the hierarchy or how it's structured, but regardless, at what point do we listen to these gentlemen and say, okay, they're giving us facts, or are they lying? For all intents and purposes, I know this might not be the answer that most people have, or this might not even be the answer that you might like, but I lean with them. They're on camera saying what happened. They're talking about the facts. They're showing you facts. I don't know what else you really need. Outside of them releasing a footage of the dad running, should the newspapers not be held accountable for lying about that? I think so. I think they should be held accountable. And I think that there has to be some kind of accountability for it, you know, because if not, which, I mean, we're kind of already there, but you can't really trust what the news says now. Who do we trust? Well, I guess everybody just got to subscribe to me and tune into what I find. And, you know, that's the news now, right? So go ahead, hit that subscribe button.